Glass up those coyotes. They're right out there with the cows. That's that pack of 4 I saw.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another exciting adventure into God's limitless outdoors. This week, we are going to be exploring some of the most incredible ground that God has ever created, and that is the beautiful state of Arizona. It has some rugged and nasty and hostile territory, but it is incredible the abundance of wildlife that calls this state its home. And once you get past the prickly facade and you actually get into the heart of this country, you find that it is overflowing with animals. This hunt started out as a Coues deer hunt with Colton and Adam, and when that didn't come together, we transitioned over to hunting Javelina with our bow. And if you've never hunted Javelina, you are in for a real treat. These animals are incredible. Where they live, how hard they are to spot, to work up, but they're also a fun animal. They're not hard to hunt themselves, but they call some of the nastiest country there is their home, and it can bring its own set of challenges. So we hope that you enjoy this look into some of the most beautiful country God has ever crafted as we hunt in Arizona this week.
All right, well, we're back at it. We've got Javelina tags in our pocket. It is early February in the beautiful state of Arizona. And we're gonna try and turn up these Javelina with a bow. So Colton's gonna be first shooter today. We got 3 days to make it happen. We saw lots of Javelina here last year. And I think we're gonna turn some up. We got lots of cows around. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get up on top of these hills so we can look down in the ravines and see if we can turn some up. Once we do, it should be a fairly easy stalk. They're kind of blind, I think.
It's day one of pig hunting. Got here just a little while ago and hiked up on this ridge and been glassing for a little bit and picking apart this hillside here, and there's a bunch of down prickly pear cactus, and these Javelina absolutely love it. And I looked off to the side of it, and there's a little gray body laying over there. Pretty sure it's a pig. Not 100% sure, but pretty sure. They're hard to discern and make out, but it's not a shadow, and it's not like anything else I've seen so far today, so I'm pretty sure it's a pig. We're gonna hike over there and check it out in a minute.
When you're spot and stalk hunting this open and rocky and crunchy country, it is super important to have some good sneaking shoes. Unfortunately, we could not find any on this trip, and so we were stuck with our big clunkers. A couple things we had going in our advantage, though, is these pigs have terrible eyesight, and as long as you can keep your movements down and the wind in your favor, you can generally get pretty close to them.
What's up? I thought I saw a Basemap. He's close now. He's right down the ridge from us.
We are now just wandering around on this ridge trying to find exactly where this pig was. In hindsight, we had a great resource that we could have used with Basemap and the remote marker tool. Had we just done that from the other side, we would have had a waypoint drop that we could have snuck right to. But we didn't do it on this trip, and it almost cost us this pig because we were aimlessly wandering around in this sea of Ocotillo, and we could not find this pig to save our lives. We're in Arizona and we're hunting Javelina and we have spotted one, but now we're trying to find him. And what looked good from the other side, and we thought we'd understand exactly where he was, we are now lost in a sea of thorns and brush and rocks, and everything looks the same, and we're having a hard time turning this thing up. So we're wandering around, keeping the wind in our favor, trying to see if we can find him.
He's kind of to the right here somewhere. I don't know if it's a pig.
At this point, we truly have no idea where this Javelina is, so we decided to just get methodical and keep everything in our advantage and just slowly work the ground until hopefully we stumbled on this needle in a haystack.
What the heck's going on? I don't feel like that's right.
After wandering around for about 10 minutes, we finally figured out where that prickly pear cactus was, but we couldn't see anything. We were about 12 yards downwind from this pig, and we were picking it apart, but could not find him to save our lives.
see him at all. 13, perfect stock. You nailed him. Hold on, are there more? They could be right here. You never know. Was that exciting or what? You can smell him. Dude, I was like, he's not here, he's not here. I looked at the brush, and I looked off to the right, and I was like, it's a weird gray looking body. Holy smokes. Kill your GoPro. Dude, he didn't even move. He didn't know what happened. Let's give him a second.
Hey everyone, I hope that you are enjoying this hunt, and we're gonna get right back to it in just a moment. But I wanted to say, if you have been blessed by the work that we have done in the ministry that God is doing through Limitless Outdoors, I wanna encourage you to go over to limitlesshunting.com and find out more about how you can partner with us to advance God's kingdom. We are reaching sportsmen and sportswomen all over the world, and we're not just reaching them with the gospel message, which is the power of God to salvation. We're also being faithful to the Great Commission and making disciples of them with our discipleship resource, The First Mile. So if you've been blessed and you want to know more about what it means to partner with Limitless Outdoors and our nonprofit ministry, you can go over to limitlesshunting.com and find out more there and see how you can become a part of what God is doing. God bless you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this hunt.
Let's be quiet, there could be more right here. They're not loners. That's a fun hunt. Golly. Look at all the blood in the arrow right there. Let's see the tusks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Dude, that was real. Look at your arrow. Oh, broke it. Dang it. That's what happens in 13 yards though. A stock like that. Oh my gosh. That was real clean. Real classy. He had no idea what happened. Oh my gosh. Thank you, buddy. Oh, cool little creatures. Holy smokes. Dude. You know, one thing that is super impressive to me about Arizona and hunting this country is how like hostile and brutal it is. I mean, everything just wants to poke you and just rip you to shreds. And what is amazing to me more than that though, is that how the animals absolutely thrive out here. I mean, we are seeing deer and javelinas and rabbits and coyotes, and you just see everything out here. And you think that in these hostile conditions that nothing could ever survive, let alone thrive. And it's absolutely incredible. And it just makes you realize that God has created us to not only endure through hard situations, but to be able to really be conquerors in them. In fact, there's a verse that says that we are more than conquerors. God has made us more than conquerors. There's other verses that tell us that we are overcomers because of Jesus Christ. And there's a reality that I just wanted to share and encourage you with today is, if these animals out here can thrive out in these conditions, out in the thorns, in the cactus, in the heat, in the dry, and they can not only thrive, they can multiply, they can enjoy life, they can do all these different things. If that can be true, then how much more could we thrive no matter how hard our situation is with Jesus? God's promises, the Word of God tells us that all of God's promises are yes and amen. And when He says that we are more than conquerors, then we are overcomers because of Him. That means that anything that we face can be overcome. And here's something I want to share with you. I was reading about this study back, I think it was in the 50s, and this guy was doing a study on rats. And in this study, he would take these rats and he'd put them in a bucket with water in it, and in a couple of minutes they would drown. And after a while, he started trying to modify his experiment, and he would take those same rats, and right before they would drown, he would pull them out of the water. And then when he put them back in the water, guess how long they swam for before they gave up? They didn't swim for 2 minutes, they didn't swim for 2 hours. Some of them swam for up to 60 hours. hours, once they knew, once they believed, once they had the hope that they would be rescued, that they could overcome the situation, they didn't give up in a couple of minutes. Look, I don't know what you're facing in life right now. I don't know the struggles you have. I don't know what you're up against, but I'm telling you right now, you might want to give up. But if those rats, they gave up after 2 minutes and they drowned. It was permanent. It ended because they had no hope. But I'm telling you right now, when hope was introduced, all of a sudden, they didn't go 2 minutes, they went 60 hours. And I'm telling you, you can go so much farther if you have hope. And Jesus came to give you hope. And when we have our faith in Jesus, it gives us hope. And I don't know what you're up against, but you can overcome it through Jesus. If a rat can overcome drowning in water, you can overcome anything that you are facing with hope in Jesus. So look, I just want to encourage you with that today. That hope changes everything, that no matter the circumstances, no matter how hostile it is, that you are more than a conqueror. And if you don't know that kind of hope, if you've never been plucked out of the water before, if God's never showed up in your life, I want to just give you an opportunity. If you've been holding God at arm's length, all you have to do is put your faith in Jesus Christ. All you have to do is say, look, I'm tired of running from you. I want to walk with you, God. Jesus came to pay for all this junk. He came to defeat sin, to defeat death. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 2, it says that he defeated him who had the power of death, that is the devil, and freed us who were all our lives slaves to the fear of death. And so I just want to encourage you to take a step towards Jesus. Look, Jesus makes walking out here easier. He makes walking through this harsh world with COVID and all the other junk going on right now and just the craziness. He makes it easier to walk through it. He gives us hope in the midst of it. And we know that through him, we can be more than conquerors and we can be overcomers. And so we keep going with that hope, with that joy. Look, if you want to put your faith in Jesus or you want to come back to Jesus or you want to know more about what it means to walk with this God who overcomes everything, go over to our website, www.limitlesshunting.com, and request a copy of The First Mile. It's a resource I wrote that'll teach you everything you need to know about starting a walk and building a walk with Jesus. God bless you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this hunt.
We're in Arizona and we've been wandering around in the cactus looking for a pig and finally stumbled right out on top of it, and Colton made an amazing shot. Now it's time to pack it out and reap the fruit of our labor.
I think they're actually really closely related to a porcupine. Man, that is cool. Yeah. So small. Looking like fajitas tonight. Oh yeah. A little heavy fajita. This little piggy went to the market. There's a straw here.
You know, one of my absolute favorite parts of the hunt is the night of the harvest, and you come back and you've got maybe something completely new that you've never bit into before, and you sit there and you chop it up and you go through the whole process and you create a meal out of it. And you know, really at its core, that's what it's all about, is this sustenance that we get from the land and the different abundance that we receive from the Lord. And it is just an amazing feeling to celebrate God's provision and his faithfulness when he gives us an animal like this, spending some time and putting together a meal and just enjoying all the flavors and the beautiful night that the Lord has made.
this food. I thank you for the pig that you gave us. I thank you for this time down here in Arizona. I just ask you to use this video mightily and help us enjoy every moment we have down here. In your son's precious name, amen.
Amen.
What kind of burrito is that, dude?
I don't know. Terrible. It's a small one. Oh.
How is it?
I'm in the business of killing. The business is good.
Tastes like rat.
We're back at it the next morning looking for my javelina now, and we're headed back up to the glassing knob to see if we can turn anything up.
Trace piggies. Come here, quick.
We were seeing lots of javelina, we were seeing lots of other animals, and we were seeing some incredible country. But it seemed like every time we tried to make a stalk on these animals, something would go wrong. Whether it was our wind, or some noise would happen, or just something freakish like a coyote would come along and jump the javelina. For one reason or another, we spent a couple of days just working this country, unable to make it happen. But on the last evening, I finally was able to locate a pig in a good position, and Colton glassed it from a higher knob, but unfortunately, I didn't have the camera on when I made the kill shot, but I was able to harvest one of the best javelina I have ever seen.
I just want to take a second and thank you all for watching, and I truly hope that you enjoyed this hunt as much as we enjoyed putting it together.